NBA basketball totals for Thursday. Once again, we're back with this segment, and once again, we are live. So, you guys, I might be making a mistake here and there. You have to have a heart, and hopefully, I won't though. Again, this is our segment for you new guys, where we look at the total set by odds makers, and we go ahead and we try to beat that total. We had this yesterday. We did it a few days ago as well when we were doing it live. And yesterday, not a great day. We're 1-2. I thought we got a little snake bit though on that Milwaukee New York game, but it happens. You know, sometimes it goes our way, sometimes it doesn't. The game New York should have definitely won. And that Golden State Portland game, wow, that first half, amazing. They went absolutely bananas in that first half, knocking down shots left and right. It was really crazy. And this was the most interesting part though. If you guys watch that game. Now, they scored about, 140 points in the first half? Just absolutely crazy. But if you checked out the second half line, oddsmakers had it at like 108 for the second half. And they went under. That was really interesting. I thought that was the most fascinating part of that game, is they had a super big over, and then they went under that second half. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. I don't think I need to double check that. All right, again, sorry, I digress. Let's get back to this. We also have our NCAA basketball segment out there as well, so be sure to check that out. Same concept. We got some totals out there. We're doing pretty well in the NCAA. NBA on the season, we're just over 500. Not that great, but NCAA, you got to check it out. Also, don't forget SBRpicks.com. You got to check that out. We got a bunch of free picks, articles, YouTube channel. I mean, Sportsbook review, we got it all there. So you got to check it out. Share the videos. Let your friends know, and be sure to tune in. So, yeah, it's just awesome website. A lot of Sportsbook reviews real quick. Sign-up bonuses, blacklists, Sportsbooks to avoid. All that good stuff. All right, let's get to some totals. NBA action. Here we go today. All right, first one we got up. And I'm real quick, I'm a little disappointed because I had these locked in last night, and the lines have moved since then, and they've moved in the direction that I had them pegged. But that goes both ways, so I'm not going to say I'm the greatest handicapper in the world, but I was at least right on the perception of how these lines were going to move. First one up, we got Charlotte and Detroit. Line came out at 205. Immediately, I liked the over. And now it's at 208. I still like the over. I think they get over 210. But I like the over in this one. You got Charlotte, you got Clifford, who's kind of a protege of my man, Stan Van Gundy. So that's probably going to be a pretty good game there. Detroit's a 4-point favorite. I don't know about that one because they have not been playing good basketball. They've been back and forth. But this is why I like over the total at 208. Let's look at their last matchup real quick. 77-87. Charlotte won by 10. And in that game, they could not hit a bucket. This was just a few weeks back in Charlotte. Detroit shot 38% from the field. Charlotte shot 34% from the field. My goodness. Detroit shot 14% from distance. Charlotte shot 28% from distance. That's why it was so low. It's 164 points. That's nothing. But the pace was exceptional. You had Detroit get up 89 attempts and Charlotte getting up 88 attempts. So the ball movement was there. The transition was there. It was getting up, just no shots dropped. So now it's at 205. This reminds me of that Indiana-Orlando game we had the other day where they had a really low-scoring affair much earlier. Then oddsmakers came out with a pretty high total. We went over and it hit. I think that's what we're going to see in this one too. So it's at 208, but there's a reason for that 208. So I think it's going to go over. When you compare it to their last matchup and what oddsmakers have it set today, I mean, we want to dig into some more stats. When we look at them, Charlotte and Detroit, they could both shoot the basketball okay. Detroit's been playing pretty good defense, but Charlotte's averaging 105.6 points per game. Detroit, they're only averaging 99 points per game, and they haven't been that great percentage-wise, but their tempo has been pretty good. They rank 11th in the league in field goals attempted per game. I think they're going to get up and down. They've been struggling a little bit. These two teams, they should know their styles pretty well. But at the end, I think this is a numbers play for me, where that number kind of ballooned up a little bit more than I think it should be. So I'm going to go ahead and go over. Charlotte, good shooting club for the most part. They rank right in the middle of the league in efficiency and effective field goal percentage. Their tempo is just behind Detroit. So I think we're going to see them get up and down tonight. They don't allow a lot of transition buckets. So again, this number really gives me pause. I'm going to go ahead and back over the total here with Charlotte and Detroit. Two decently talented teams that are not playing as well as I think they should be playing, especially Detroit. Man, they've really been struggling. As for the spread, Detroit's -4. That's a tough one. I think oddsmakers might. Detroit's due to break out. I mean, they got the talent. So we'll see what Stan Van Gundy does tonight. All right, next one up, we got Utah and Toronto. Another one where I looked at it last night. Again, sorry, this is coming from Japan. So when I say last night, to me, uh, so this is Thursday, January 5th for you guys. This is the 6th for me. The morning of I'm on Friday right now. So just to let you know. So when I say last night, I get the lines. Like I check them out as soon as they come out. But Utah and Toronto was at 202. It's now dropped to 198, and I'm going under. Similar to that Detroit Charlotte game, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at their last matchup. That was in Utah. Excuse me. Raptors won 104 to 98. So that's 202. But let's look at what happened. Toronto shot lights out. That's not going to happen, even though they're at home. Also, I think Patterson's a question mark, so you might want to check that as well. Right now, let's check the line just real quick. And let me check the point spread. Right now it's 198.5. I'm going under. Just to let you guys know. Once again, it's at 5. I think Utah can kind of give them some trouble. Raptors they've been sliding just a little bit. But in that game, their last matchup, that 104 to 98 one, you got Toronto. They shot 53% from the floor. And both teams shot over 37% from distance. That's a mighty fine shooting from beyond the arc. But the tempo, again, like that Charlotte-Detroit one, let's look at the tempo. Toronto got up 81 attempts, and the Jazz got up their normal 79. That's not a lot. That's a slow tempo, but they knocked down their shots. Just the opposite of that Charlotte-Detroit game. And that's what it comes down to. Are they going to knock down their shots? But let's look at the number. I mean, why is it dropped? Why is it 202? I think there's good reason for that. You got two good defensive teams, especially Utah. They're arguably the best defensive team in the NBA. They've shown the propensity, though, to get up and down the floor a little bit from time to time, but their defensive numbers are great. And Toronto, actually, Casey's gone smaller this year. They've gone up and down the floor. It hasn't worked out so well, though, like this past week. But they're allowing just 103.4 points per game. That ranks 12th in the NBA. Utah ranks first at 95. That was a tough game they had against Boston the other night, too. Utah, they're number 1 in the league in opponent 2-point shooting percentage, opponent shooting efficiency. I mean, they're just a really solid defensive team. Toronto is not that bad. They're not as good as they were last year. And if they're going to make any sort of playoff push, I think they got to get back to where they were last year. I thought that was what they had going, their dynamic last year. I thought that was fine. But it's just, they got him, I don't know. Casey's got him going smaller and they're running. Right now, they're allowing opponents to shoot 35.8% from beyond the arc. That ranks in the middle league, and they also rank in the middle league, allowing opponents to shoot about 45%. But they're not allowing a lot of shots. They're allowing opponents to get up just 83.7 attempts. That ranks in the top 10. Utah, of course, they rank, first in that category? Oh, they rank 7th. They're allowing 82.9. That ranks 7th in the NBA. Yeah, that's still slow. It's still slow. So under that 198.5 with Utah and Toronto, I just don't think they get there, and I think there's a reason why the number dropped. All right, last one, the most entertaining one of the game, at least I think. We got Oklahoma City visiting Houston. Now, Oklahoma City, of course, off their back-to-back. Russell Westbrook, that guy's been ridiculous. Another very interesting number here. Right now it's at 225.5. Let me double-check that at SBR because we got all the odds there. Great place to check out where the numbers are. It was started at 225. Now it's at someplace at 226. That's a pinnacle. 225.5. I'm going over, much to my chagrin, because I'm more. I kind of want to play unders because it seems like unders are, at least in my years of handicapping, those are the ones I want to look for because that usually goes against the public because everyone wants to see an over. You guys should probably already know that. But I'm going to go over in this one. This is going to be a fun one. So we're going to look at the last time they matched up. 102 to 99. 102 to 99. And again, much like that Charlotte-Detroit game, it was low. We got a 201 final. It's 225.5. Well, why? Well, Oklahoma City's coming off second leg over the back-to-back. Houston, under Mike D'Antoni, is just efficiency-wise, they're incredible offensively. Absolutely amazing. Defensively, they're still not quite there. Billy Donovan loves to get up and down the floor with Oklahoma City. I think tonight they're just going to let them run. I think they're going to run. But let's look at the stats of the game. Sorry, I digress. In that game, that 102-99 final, Houston shot just 39% from the floor. Oklahoma City at home shot just 42%. And they both shot, about 25% from distance. That's really bad. And Houston loves to shoot the three. They're first in the league in three-pointers attempted per game. I don't even need to look that up. I already know that. because that's what they do. So I find that interesting that oddsmakers set this total that high. But it makes a lot of sense when you start digging in their stats even more. Let's take a look. You got Oklahoma City averaging 106.2 points per game. That ranks ninth in the NBA. Houston 114. That ranks second, of course, behind Golden State. But Houston, again, efficiency, they're like second in the league in pretty much every category behind Golden State. Three-pointers, again, like I said, they rank first in three-pointers attempted and made per game. Oklahoma City, I mean, they're fast. They're not as fast as they were last year, but they're starting to get there. And they're like first in points in the paint. No, they're second, sorry. 50.2. I didn't need to look that one up either because that's kind of how Billy Donovan runs his offense. Because they get to the rack. Westbrook, he attacks the bucket. But they're an okay three-point shooting team as well. They're not bad. They're shooting about 46% overall, ranks ninth in the league. They're fifth in two-point shots. They don't shoot the three particularly well. They don't. Actually, they don't shoot the three well at all. 32.8%. That ranks 29th in the league. But this pace is going to be, they're going to get up and down. That 225.5, that looks big, but I like for them to get there. I think this is going to be a really fun game to watch. As for the spread, I know some of you guys were asking, my opinion on the point spreads. There's actually only one game I kind of like tonight, but the number it's going in my favor, but I'm definitely going against the public. At least right now. There's still a while till these games go off. Sorry. So that Oklahoma City Houston game, you got Houston laying 8. I don't know about that one. The game I do like actually is, as I get one more drink of coffee. Okay. Is we got the Lakers, and I know some of you guys are giving me some feedback right now, and I'll try to get that to you after we're done. Lakers are getting 6.5 at some place, and I kind of like Los Angeles. And let me tell you why I like the Lakers. The Lakers are terrible. They're not very good. However, I thought they played Toronto pretty scrappy for 3 quarters. But the main issue is Portland's coming off. They're on the second leg of a back-to-back after playing Golden State. The last 2 teams that have done that have lost straight up. Toronto, they battled Golden State really hard. They went to Phoenix, they lost. Then you had Denver. They battled Golden State really hard, went back home and lost to the Kings. So I'm just saying that might be 3 in a row with Portland going back home now. Also, Lillard's still a question mark, so keep an eye on that. And I think that's about it. I think the Atlanta-New Orleans game is going to be a good matchup. And I think Evans is out for that as well. So you always want to check the injury report. And one last thing I want to say when it comes to these totals, and if I give out something on a spread, don't forget to, if somebody's out, you got to really change stuff. If I like Cleveland, and right now before the games go off, and then an hour before they say LeBron scratched, well, then you might want to reassess that. Anyways. All right, so those are our totals again. Let's go ahead and let's recap that. We got Charlotte and Detroit over the 208, and the line's gone up. So pay attention to that one. We got, and again, check out SBR again for all that. We got Utah, Toronto. I'm going under the 198.5, and what's going to be a pretty good defensive affair. And then we got Oklahoma City and Houston over the 225.5, and what should be an absolute track meet. So I'll try to get back to some of your comments. I hope you enjoyed this segment. We're going to try and keep rolling with it as often as possible. We got our NCAA segment out there as well. SBR, it's all there, so be sure to check it out. And I wish you guys luck on all your picks today.